I think most Corvette fans will agree with this statement. Whenever the Corvette is redesigned and the next generation is introduced, it's like an event. When the C8 was unveiled, it made me go in the garage and take my C5 out and clean it and look at it, appreciate the fact that I own a Corvette. The Corvette is such an icon in the automotive world, but anyone can own one. No matter what walk of life you're from, you can probably own a Corvette. A few weeks back, I made a video about wanting a C4 Corvette, and I found a nice one, a nice 1984 with 60,000 miles on it for $4,500. So anyone can aspire to own a Corvette. If you have more money than others, you're going to always buy the latest and greatest Corvette. You're always going to buy brand new, top of the line. And some of these guys, they keep every single Corvette they've ever owned and just have a collection. Or you may be like me and you just have one, but it's your prized possession. One of my favorite things about owning a Corvette is the Corvette Wave. I got my I got my first Corvette in 2011, 2010 maybe. And one of the coolest things was discovering the Corvette Wave. I was just driving along and another guy in a Corvette at a light waved at me. And from that day on, I waved at every single Corvette owner that I ran into. Sometimes it's the opposite sides of the road and it's cool seeing an arm poke out. But every single time, no matter what, I wave. And that's how I learned about the Corvette Wave. And I don't think there's many car brands that have a wave. I want to say Jeep owners, Jeep Wrangler owners wave back, Miata, and WRX owners. And I heard bikers wave at each other, but that's it. Not many. I own a Cobra, Mustang Cobra, and no Mustang owners wave at me. It's like you're anonymous when you drive a Cobra. Like you're not even fellow Cobra owners wave back. So Mustang owners definitely don't wave back, but I'm at an 85% rate of Corvette owners that wave back. Every C4 owner I've ever ran into wave back. Every C5 owner I've ever ran into wave back. C6, it's about a 90%, 95% wave back rating. And this is why I want to make this video. I'm noticing a lot of C7 owners don't wave back. It's like 30%. And it's making me wonder, are C8 owners going to wave back? And this is my theory with the C7. The Corvette has always, and as much as I like Corvettes, I could be honest. The quality of the Corvette, when I look at it, I haven't got to sit in a C7 yet. I've sat in a C6, of course C5s. I've seen C4s, I've seen C3s, and I've maybe seen a C2 Corvette on the road 3 or 4 times in my life, and I've never got to wave back at a C2 owner because when I've seen C2 Corvettes, I was in a different car. So I never got that universal aligned. I was in my Corvette when I saw a C2 on the road, and even then, I've only seen a C2 maybe 3 or 4 times tops. But with the C7, C7 is the Corvette that finally reached European standards of quality. So I think that a lot of people that got a C7 aren't necessarily Corvette fans. It's people finally cross-shopped Corvettes with the C7 with Porsches and other European cars. So I think a lot of C7 owners aren't even Corvette fans, and that's why C7 owners aren't waving. And I think a lot of C7 owners wish they could own a Ferrari. And that's the closest they'll ever get to a Ferrari. So they're not true Corvette fans. And I think a lot of people who get the C8 aren't even Corvette fans, aren't going to be Corvette fans. Like they got it because that's the closest they'll ever get to a Ferrari, like just like the C7, but the C8 with the mid-engine is even closer to being like a Ferrari than the C7 was. So I have a theory that, and I hope I'm wrong. So if C8 potential owners are watching this, don't forget to wave because even though I have a C5, I still like the C8 a lot. And I'm excited about the C8. I didn't get excited about the C7 Corvette until the ZR1 came out because shoots flames and it's 755 horsepower. So of course I'm gonna take notice with the C7 ZR1, but this time around I'm actually excited about the base model C8 because it's such a cool car. It's such an interesting car. It's so cool that the Corvette's gonna be mid-engine, and it's a great looking car. I'm looking forward to the Motor Week review of it first. The first time I saw it, the unveiling, the first video I watched was Jay Leno's unveiling of it. C6 Corvette, I was excited about it, but just to see the change, to see what the C6 was gonna look like, and it was just an evolution of the C5, and of course with 505 horsepower, I was excited about the C6 Z06 because when the C6 Z06 came out, there was not many 500 horsepower cars. In fact, if memory serves me correctly, when the C6 Z06 came out, there were only like 4 or 5 500 horsepower cars, and of course when the C5 Z06 came out, 400 horsepower. Not many cars had 400 horsepower either, and the C5 Z06 was the very first time that the Corvette was actually faster than the base model Ferrari. So crazy times. So C7, C8 owners, if you're watching this, don't forget to wave at the C6, C5, C3, C4 owners, C2 if you run into them, and I don't think I've ever ran into a C1 on the road. So C7 and C8 owners, don't forget that wave. Don't let that wave die because that's one of the coolest things about owning a Corvette is seeing that hand poke out of the car when you're driving or just being at a stoplight and having another Corvette pull up next to you and you just chit chat at the stoplight because you're just fanatics. That's one of the things I love about the Corvette. Every walk of life can own one. You could be a CEO, you could be a millionaire, or you could be a blue collar guy like myself and have a Corvette. So keep that wave alive.